track at the World. We are tied. Look at this. He's landing it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Dropping a big leg. Over for the cover. He got it. Unbelievable. High fly ball into right field. She is gone. Awesome. He got it. The starter. Mike Tyson in. Austin is the champion. Stone Cold. Stone Cold. Stone Cold.
Now the 2-2. Well hit down the left field line. Way back in. Touch a ball, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Oh my God, no! Mankind did it! Nick Foley did it! No! Stone Cold did it! Mankind has achieved his dream and the dream of everyone else who's been told you can't do it! No! You can't do it! You can't do it! No matter what, got money on my mind, I can never get it up. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
What's up, Connection? Welcome into WWE WAR Wrestling Above Replacement. I am JT. Joining me as always is my good friend Marcus. And we are here simulcast on both audio and video, audio on all podcast applications, except those clowns at Spotify. And we did have a fan ask what my issue with Spotify was. Let's just say, we do use some songs, right? Some real songs on these shows. We don't make any money off of any of it. It's just for fun. And they kept warning us, and I severed the connection. We stopped putting the shows on Spotify, but they still kept warning me for some reason. I think they were going through the backlog maybe. And then they killed my personal account that was tied to it. So I lost all my playlists. I've had that account for like a decade. And I wasn't happy. So fuck them. So Spotify can get effed. Anyway, so we're on all audio podcast applications except Spotify at this point. We're also here video on YouTube at North South Connection. I want to give a big shout out to everybody involved because we recently surpassed 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, and we're already making progress toward 1,100 as we speak. So I want to give a big thanks to everyone who helps contribute to the feed, whether it's Ryan, Marcus, you and I, Tim, our producer here. We got Jenny and the rest of the crew involved, Keithy and everyone else who does video work for us on YouTube. Big shout out across the board to everyone involved. And thank you for all the subscribers and all the viewers and listeners as well that helped us get there. So we have a lot of cool content for you, whether it's old school wrestling like this show or some modern. I guess it's like a mix. We do have some older school shows, and we have a lot of current day wrestling content, right? We preview all the big PLEs. We do post shows as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff for anyone across the board with wrestling. So be sure to check all of that out along the way. All right, Marcus, here on this show, you and I are going through every WWE pay-per-view in history. We're doing it in a seasonal format. What does seasonal format mean, Marcus?
That means we start with the first show after WrestleMania, and we go all the way to the next WrestleMania. That consists of our season.
All right, and that's what we're doing here. And I will say, buddy, happy 80 for us. It's our 80th episode of WWE WAR here tonight. Right. So we've covered a lot of ground in that time, which is exciting. And we continue on. It's a fun way to look at it, right? So we'll talk about it in a second. We look at these pay-per-views, not just kind of your standard way, like, oh, these had some great matches. We kind of look at all different various categories and we stack rank that way. So we'll be talking through that in a moment. And like you said, the seasonal format kind of gives you a real vibe for how they're booking toward that year's Mania. The yearly view to me is always kind of like, well, Mania's done and the end of the year meanders a bit. To me, this gives more of a real vibe as to like how they view their year to their biggest show, more so than the other way. So that's why we chose to do this way. And we are currently in what season, Marcus?
We are doing 2013-2014 WWE.
And tonight we'll be covering Survivor Series 2013. But before we get into the show itself, we're going to throw things over to producer Tim, not the Toolman Taylor, to give you all the rules.
Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield.
Welcome to WWE WAR. I'm producer Tim. JT and Marcus have taken on the noble task of finding the true answer to the age-old question wrestling fans have debated for years. What is the greatest WWE pay-per-view of all time? To find the answer, WAR looks to explore each and every pay-per-view using a plus-minus scale at a baseline average, where things above average gain a point and things below average lose a point. WWE WAR grades on several categories including match quality, build, commentary, atmosphere, notable moments, card structure, and rewatchability. The magic number to remember for WWE WAR is 2.5. That is the baseline number for an average replacement level match. Any grade higher or lower than 2.5 raises or lowers the average WAR score. For example, if JT and Marcus give a match a 3-star rating, then that match is 0.5 points above replacement. Add all of the totals up and you get your nice round number to give you your match quality grade. There's also a bonus. If there is a match that both JT and Marcus rate 4.25 or higher, or 0.75 or lower, that match gains or loses a point for either an all-time great match or an all-time bad match. By the time we're done, we will have composed the most comprehensive list ever for WWE pay-per-views to give you the answer of what is the greatest WWE pay-per-view of all time. Take it away, boys.
Thank you, producer Tim, for both the rules and all the wonderful graphics you see here. And if you're if you're watching, you see them. If you're listening, this is a really great show to watch on YouTube because Tim has put together some fantastic graphics, and it's a lot of counting and numbers and addition and subtraction, and he helps guide that on screen, helps to keep track. So it's a good one to watch if you want to pop over to YouTube and check us out. All right, Marcus, you mentioned Survivor Series 2013. I got one of my rare Boston hats. I don't think I got maybe more than one or two. This is a rare one for me. I threw it on because we are in Boston. We are at the TD Garden on November 24th, 2013. We have our usual announced team, Michael Cole, Jerry the King Lawler, and JBL. And we do have one pre-show match that is The Miz defeating Kofi Kingston by pinfall. And then that brings us into our opener, which actually I always forget. We get some stats on the screen here. You can see we also had 13,500 in attendance. And thanks to the week buildup of this pay-per-view, this Survivor Series was the worst selling edition of Survivor Series since its inception, which, given how the fall has been, is that a surprise to you in any way? You're muted, bub.
No surprise to me at all. Thank you very much. And is this a Survivor Series that was so bad that Vince was like, that's it? Like, I'm done with Survivor Series. And I feel like there was a year.
They were going to get rid of it, right? At one point?
Get rid of it. Yeah. And there was like a fan outcry when it wasn't on the calendar at the beginning of the year.
That's right. Yeah, it was something else. And he was like tired of the brand name. Yeah, it could have been this one. It was definitely in this time period around here somewhere. Yeah. That's right. Forget about that. That would have sucked.
It's not so long after this they go back to the brand supremacy, right?
Yeah. Well, the next year, like, they main event with the Survivor match, right? Because that's the Sting one.
Yes.
2014. Yeah. So I don't remember if that was brand supremacy or not, but that's a pretty big, they like load up that Survivor Series main event. And then the year after is the tournament, which we've covered on here before. So they definitely started to kind of, I think, put a little bit more gas back into it for sure. All right, let's get to our opening match. It is a traditional classic Survivor Series match. It has the Shield and the Real Americans. So that's Ambrose, Reigns, Rollins, Cesaro, and Swagger taking on the Rhodes brothers of Cody Rhodes and Goldust, Masillans, Rey Mysterio, and the Usos teaming up here. And this is a pretty good, traditional Survivor Series match. Let's go through the eliminations here real quick. So 2 minutes in, which this was not good. Ambrose eliminates Cody Rhodes. Just kind of one of those classic, like, lame moves eliminates you in Survivor Series that wouldn't eliminate you in a regular match. So 2 minutes in, Cody's gone. Swagger eliminates Jey Uso. Cesaro takes out Cody. Jimmy Uso. I'm sorry, other way around.
Yep.
Cody eliminates Dean in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Jay then eliminates Jack Swagger. Cody eliminates Cesaro. Reigns takes out Jimmy Uso, which is funny, and Cody Rhodes. Rollins takes out Jey Uso. Rey Mysterio takes out Seth Rollins, and then Reigns eliminates Goldust and Rey to become the sole survivor of this match in 23 minutes. So again, I think it's a good kind of classic Survivor Series match. Given the talent, I would say maybe undershot a little bit, but this was really, and you can start to see it come, especially in early 14, but it starts here really, where they're looking at Reigns as probably the guy coming out of the Shield, and you start to see some of the focus shifting to him as an act, as opposed to the act as an act, right? We start to see some bullets in them. Like, I would say it was inconceivable even 3 months ago that Ambrose would lose in 2 minutes to somebody. You know what I mean? So like, it feels like that's kind of there. You can see where their focus is. Reigns getting the Jesus push here, the Diesel Survivor Series 94 push, right? Being kind of the solo guy, taking everyone out. That generally means they're setting him up for the next year.
Yeah, you mentioned the Diesel push, and that's kind of what this is. I know me and Aaron have had countless conversations about WWE pivoting to the big dog in the middle part of the last decade, but I go back to this show as the show where the fans really start getting behind Roman. You see the reaction he's getting, not just for the spear, but like for the build up of the spear, where people see that it's coming. The crowd starts getting behind him here. He's starting to get a connection with the audience. So you can see why they wanted to get behind him. In this role, absolutely. So we'll see maybe in future seasons where that goes awry. But I went 3.5 on this match as well. Just super solid and delivered, met expectations. But these guys are capable of a little bit more, but it's still cooked.
I like the usage of the Real Americans too here. Like, they're actually a kind of a sneaky good team at this point. Like, I think it really helped rehab Swagger after the tough start to 2013 for him, where he won the Chamber, was set up for Mania, got popped with a synthetic weed, and kind of like straggle from there. Him and Cesaro get quite over with the music and with Dutch and all that. Like, their act becomes pretty popular. So it was cool to see them involved in, with all these guys are pretty well pushed, right? Like, the Shield is obviously a top act. The Rhodes brothers have been a top act of the fall. Ray, making his recent return was obviously a big deal. And then the Usos are kind of just a mid-level tag team. But I thought it was like a good spot for the Real Americans. Yeah,
and it was cool to see them away from kind of like the comedy mix, away from the Khali's and away from Santino and stuff like that, where they feel like good counter tag team for the Usos and even for the Rhodes brothers. So great addition to the match. And of course, Claudio is one of the best tag workers of all time, if not the best. So great addition there as well. We'll get to our next match, and it is for the WWE Intercontinental Championship as Big E Langston takes on Curtis Axel. Big E is up in this one. And I went with a war of 2 for this match. A little bit of a big ask for both these guys, with such a lack of experience to go out there and deliver a pay-per-view caliber match. But as we've seen from Big E, he's trying. Just once he turned babyface, doesn't have the same connection with the crowd that he did when he was paired with AJ and Ziggler. So still grasping to find something to connect with the crowd. And Axel, I think they had good
We've seen
intentions,
a lot
but
of
he's just
a lot of baby Kurt this season. A lot of baby, way more than we needed to see. I went 2 as well. Like, I like that they're committing to Big E and just letting him go. Like, I think he's got the potential. We see it, right? So like, let him just go. Like, give him the opportunity. So I like that they're putting that out there for him, letting him have that chance. The other thing that I've liked about the season has really been the commitment to the IC title. Like, whether we like Axel or not, like, the IC title's been on almost every pay-per-view this season. It's got time, which is a big change from where they were even just a few years ago. So like, that's cool to see. Big E comes in as champion. He'd actually beaten Axel on TV to win the belt. So this is a rematch where he retains. So anyway, it's not much, but I like things about it more than I like the match itself. So, all right. Match number 3 we have up next is Team Total Divas versus Team Real Divas. And I actually have a funny story about this. So I used to be in this pay-per-view pick'em pool that like this guy I used to work with, Buddy, ran or something. And there's a bunch of people from like PTV in it and stuff. And it was fun. And I remember I put in my picks Team Divas, meaning the original Divas. And because I think that's who wins this, right? Before I fuck up the story. No, Total Divas win. Maybe that's what I meant. I put Team Divas and I meant Team Total Divas, whatever it was. And he counted it as the opposite for me, and I ended up losing the prize money for that month based on that 1 point.
Oh man!
And I got real upset about it. So I was like, "What the fuck?" Like I said, Team Divas. He's like, "Well, they're both divas." I'm like, "Well, I obviously meant Total Divas, like whatever," because I don't think they were actually called Team Divas. I think they were just like the other team or whatever. So we ended up. I'm like, "Well, I'm retiring after TLC." He's like, "Okay," and so I ended up taking everyone and doing the PTV one after. But this match has always stuck out to me as like the team Divas match for me. And this match is the Bella Twins, Eva Marie, and the Funkadactyls, who is Cameron and Naomi, JoJo, and Natalia. So that's Team Total Divas. And then True Divas, I guess Wikipedia has it, but I don't think that's what they called them at the time. AJ Lee, Oksana, Alicia Fox, Caitlin, Rosa Mendez, Summer Rae, and Tamina Snuka, which is the team of your nightmares right there. 11 minutes, 29 seconds. This is about exactly what you would expect it to be, given who's involved at this point in their career. 1.75 for me. Total Divas win. The new season, or the first season, was ongoing, I think, at this point. And it was a big deal. Obviously, they hyped the shit out of it, and rightfully so. It was on E! It was like right in the wheelhouse of that era of all the reality shows and everything. So it was like a big deal that was worth investing promotional time in. But the match itself is not much. And I think one of my bigger issues with it is you have this many women, 7-on-7. Like, why are we making it elimination? It just makes it look silly. Like, just do a standard pinfall, because it goes 11 minutes and we only have 2 survivors. So we have 12 falls in 11 minutes, which is ludicrous. It makes no sense. So that to me is what really took a shit on it.
It's like a Mike D'Antoni offense. Putting up a shot every.
Well, these are the time of the eliminations: 124, 228, 245, 327, 401, 434, 512, 542, 604, and then there's a lull till the end: 928, 1051, 1129. But it's like, I mean, that's a ridiculous flurry of eliminations. In the first 9 are eliminated in 4.5 minutes.
Gosh,
like, why bother doing elimination?
Yeah, or cut 2 from each side, which I know is hard. You want to get people on the pay-per-view, but yeah, too much going on. I went to just for lack of business exposing wrestling, which they're getting better during this era, but still not where they're going to be. So our next match number 4 in the evening, we have a WrestleMania return match as Mark Henry takes on the Ryback. I went with a 1.75, missing the energy of the WrestleMania match. Course, their roles are reversed here. It was just all right. And
it's not even like a real match. This is like an open challenge, and Henry comes out, which I think was this his return. Hadn't he been injured? Probably.
I think so.
Yeah. 1.5 for me. I think Ryback, I've been pro Ryback this whole season. Like, I think I actually enjoyed him quite a bit in the Cena feud, and even coming off the Cena feud, I thought he was used fine. This did not resonate for me at all. This did not click. So, anyway, they go under 5. All right, next up is a singles match for the World Heavyweight title. Our now defending champion John Cena against Alberto Del Rio, who he's taking on. And again, this was good, but it's kind of 2013 Cena for me, where it's like, his highs of the past years are gone, and his highs of years to come aren't quite there yet. He's in this weird stretch, and I always associate 2013 Cena with these khakis, and I think all of his khaki matches are mid. And this was another one, so it's 3.25 for me. It feels like a time filler. I mean, it's Cena in Boston, which is cool, I guess. You have him come in as champ there, and based on the point where it is in the card too, kind of tells you their thoughts on it. That it's like he's in Boston defending against Del Rio, and it's 3 from the top, which has been the case with the world title anyway all season. Doesn't get any kind of showcase main event spot. If anything, is opened more pay-per-views than closed. So yeah, not too much cooking for me here.
Yeah, Cena, at least during this run for me, he hasn't figured out how to make the ending in doubt during the season. That's the main note I'm taking away from this season. Khaki short Cena. I went 3 just for that reason, but the action's good. The work is fine. And we got another John Cena title win. It felt like he beats Jericho at a Survivor Series. Is that
08. Yeah, it's very similar.
Yeah.
Well, he's champion coming in here, but yeah, same idea.
Yeah. Like they needed to get like the Cena hometown, title celebration.
And Doritos, another guy that we've loved like all season too. Similar to Ryback, where it just feels like it's kind of petering now.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next?
We have match number 6 for the evening. It is CM Punk and Daniel Bryan forming a super team to take on the Wyatt family. We have Harper and Rowan as a representation of the Wyatt family in this match, with Wyatt sitting on the outside. I went to 3.25. Of course, Bryan and Punk are up in this one. Just continual solid good stuff from Punk and Bryan. They both have almost kind of been feeling like, for lack of a better term, like the Bret Hart role, like 95 Bret, where he's not champion for most of the year, but he's having these really solid to great matches in the mid to upper mid card, trying to contribute any way you can, work with new people. This was really good. And of course, anytime you get Harper in there with either one of those guys, the action kind of picked up, and you can see the chemistry there. So this was overall fun.
Yeah, I liked it too. I mean, Punk and Bryan's a really cool team on paper, especially against the Wyatts as they're coming up. It was a good showcase match for the Wyatts. We're in the semi-main. But like a lot of stuff, especially in the fall, it just feels like it's just coming up short of expectations. Like you think of a match with, and again, I know Rowan's limited. Harper was good, but probably not as good as he would get. But it's still Punk and Bryan. Like I feel like they should be able to carry this a little bit higher. And you're right. Punk, there's always been comparisons to him and Bret, right, for years and years. And this is like a real glaring one of the fall where he spent the whole fall since the big SummerSlam match just feuding with Axel and Ryback and now the Wyatts, the lower of the Wyatts, right? Like it definitely feels very like we're parking him. Now we know we don't get there, but he did have big plans for a match at Mania with the top guy. So, right, we can cover that at some point, but still, it feels like they really have him in neutral for a bit here. All right, main event, not the most exciting main event on paper, and that is Randy Orton defending the WWE title against the Big Show in probably one of the worst Big Show eras ever, right? Is just brutal, crying, cucked Big Show, right? That was like the bitch of the Authority. Then he turns on the Authority. Then he's crying about it. He's stealing Bryan's yeses. Like just the worst of the worst Big Show eras. I'm pro show, but like not in this era. So this being the main event of the show was a complete fart bomb to me. I've liked Orton in this run too, but it feels like they're kneecapping him with all the Authority doesn't believe in you shit either. Like that has not helped him during this run where they're making it seem like he's not really living up to expectations. He looks great, but then they're saddling him with dudes like this. So, and then at the end, Orton wins and Cena comes out and they kind of hold the belts to tease, what's to come. And even then we get the Authority distracting Big Show. So Orton doesn't even win clean. So it's just not good. I mean, if I were Vince, I'd be get ready to close the whole thing. Forget just eliminating Survivor Series. You have to watch on this show. So I went 2 on this, just a blah main event. Now, this is the one local show I'm glad I didn't go to. I'm perfectly happy with my decision not to go to Survivor Series 2013 in person.
2.5 for me, but I agree with everything you said. And like it feels like another era of Big Show where they were like, oh yeah, like Big Show took acting classes and like they're trying to get as much juice out of that squeeze as they can, which is completely unnecessary. Nobody's asking for Big Show.
Save it for Netflix, big guy
Stuff. Yeah. So that's it for the match part. So we will transition over to our war scores for our categories.
Yeah. So, well, and also the score for in-ring, right? So a real dog shit show in-ring. 0.5 is low. Like that's like all time low for us. Usually highs are like the best shows like 7 to 8 to 9 in there.
Yeah.
But most shows usually land in like the 3 to 6 range. So a half a point in ring is just a super mid show. So I shouldn't say it's bad because like bad would be negatives, but it's like forgettable. And on a show it has the guys it has on it to be completely forgettable in ring is inconceivable. To have Del Rio, Cena, Cesaro, The Shield, the Wyatts, Bryan, Punk, Cody Rhodes, and even Goldust is a good worker. Like to have all these guys on the card, you know, and have it completely shit the bed like this is a tough look. So, all right, let's get to build. So here's what we gave points to. Rey Mysterio returns after a year out when Shield injured his knee, so he's back. Shield and the Rhodes brothers still going at it as part of the build, so that's been lingering for the last couple of months. Big E wins the IC belt, ends Axel's long reign. A point for AJ Lee struggling to work with her teammates after using them all, treating them like shit. We didn't really mention that in the Divas match, but that was kind of the crux of that story, that she's been crap talking all of them and ends up having, you know, forced to rely on them in this team setting. A point for Del Rio chasing to get his belt back, and a point for the Wyatt stalking Punk and Bryan, kind of warning them to run and then driving them to team up to try to eradicate the Wyatts.
All right, let's check out our cons for event build. We get the Divas match. Feels like splitting half of the or spiting half of your division, no matter who is the face or who is the heel. You know, it's not really doing either side too many favors. We get Big Show cosplaying as Virgil. We're also trying to take Bryan's heat. The yes chance, like you mentioned, the gimmick, the spot, all of it is super lame. We get the Authority in board meetings, lawsuits, settlements, face of the company, yada, 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 corporate structure, -2 there. It really takes away from the show. And we get Sandow rush enforced with the unsuccessful Money in the Bank cash in, and they'll build up to the show just to get that out of the way. And
he was the first one to lose, right?
Process.
I think he was the first loser.
Yeah.
It really killed him. I mean, that was the end of it for him. Like, and even giving it to him was questionable. We talked about that at the time. You knew he really had no chance to win, and then Cena just like squashes him on Raw or whatever. It was just like real bad. Sucked for him. And then the Big Show thing too is like, yeah, he's basically playing Virgil 91, right? Where, you know, you're gonna pay for your mom or whatever the hell. And then, you know, Big Show's crying, doesn't want to lose the job. All right, so that gives us a WAR score of 1 for build. So
all right.
It's positive.
Profit
I guess.
is profit.
Let's get to commentary. We gave a point for Cole doing a pretty good job hyping up the first full year of the Shield. They debuted at Survivor Series 12. Talks about how dominant they've been all the way to this point. A point for King saying Mark Henry looks like Rick Ross because he's got the new shaved head with the big beard.
Yeah.
A point for Mick Foley leaning in on the anti-Cena crowd during the panel segment. So he talks about it. He's like, you know, basically we're in Boston, but they're not really the hometown crowd for Cena, you would think.
Mm-hmm.
A point for the good job telling the story of Del Rio targeting Cena's arm with a cross arm breaker. And then a really funny line where JBL tells Cole to stop using pronouns when he says he or whatever. You know, that was either fed from Vince or JBL just trying to pop Vince. He barks at him, stop using pronouns. So that was funny.
Let's get to the cons of commentary. Yuck, yuck, ha, ha, Maggle.
Maggle.
We've had it all season. Cole saying that Total Diva show a dozen times during that match.
Just say Total Divas. Just say Total Divas. They're from that Total Divas show, King. Like, it's just called Total Divas. Just call it Total Divas.
It's like he wants to pretend like he doesn't watch the show. Like,
it's weird.
Why do
you keep saying that Total Divas show? It's very odd. It's called the fucking name.
Yeah. So much rambling nonsense, droning on and on and on throughout the night. We went -2 for that. And very lethargic, you know, all night, but especially during the Cena and Del Rio match. Aside from the arm work, they're really just almost
automated. They matched the energy of that match. It was like no one really cared about it. There's no way Del Rio was winning the belt back. Everyone's booing Cena. Like, the match is bland. Like, this is, and the commentary, you know, laid down to the occasion. So, all right. So that gives us a total score of 0 for commentary. So we're really riding high with this show. Let's get to atmosphere. A point for the big pop for King of Kings to open the show. We didn't talk about it, but the Authority comes out and gives a brief promo to open. Point for the nice pop for the Rhodes brothers. And kind of that first like introductory tag when Goldust gets into the match was like, really well received from the crowd. Point four are one of our favorite themes, the Festive Del Rio theme. A point for the good fight, big fight vibes for Cena ADR. Only for that brief time before the crowd turns. Like they are buzzing during that pre-match introductions for whatever reason. It felt big and then it just dies. A point for the big Punk pop, a point for Brian's pop, point for the Wyatt entrance always. And then a really cool panel. Foley, Booker T, and the Hitman. Always thought it'd be good on panels. I think that's a really good trio, and it felt like a big deal to have those three guys there. So,
yeah, they did really well too. All providing like different insight. They were actually like pretty interesting to listen to. Getting into our cons for atmosphere, we've got the crowd not super hot for poor Ray Ray. Maybe some things to come. Crowd chants "We want Ziggler" during the IC title match.
No Dolph. Where is he?
No Dolph.
He's been one of the best parts of the season, and he is completely gone.
Yeah, the political hit has been concluded. We get the Total Divas entrance with the theme song, kind of lame. Lame Goldberg chants continue for the Ryback. We get the tepid Mick Cena reaction in Boston. Definitely not what they're looking for. Trying to give him the hometown moment. Crowd really not into the show, or crowd not really into the big show.
Not at all.
As the main event star. We get the crowd farting all over the main event finish. And then what really stood out to me, too, was the TD Garden was unrecognizable. There was a couple times during the show I had to, like, look up to remind myself, like, where's the show at? You don't really hammer it on commentary. There's not – I feel like there wasn't the usual amount of shots of, like, downtown Boston, the bridge, the building, anything like that. And then just the lighting inside the place. It just really makes it look like they're anywhere.
I have to look back at all the Boston shows, and I wonder if this is the worst one. It might be the worst pay-per-view there. Probably. Yeah. Probably the worst ever there. All right, so the war score for atmosphere, which is usually one where you can rack up some big points. 0. So not good. Atmosphere, I feel like usually like the layup category where you can pops and music, and usually does well. All right, notable moments. We have a point for Reigns being the sole survivor, eliminates 4 opponents. So Spears actually went +2 because it's a pretty good deal. As we talked about the rules, right? +3 is like all time. +2 is like better than just good. So that's a big deal. Kind of kicks off his push as we talked about earlier. A point for Natalya tapping out AJ Lee clean. It's kind of been a rare loss for her during this season. So I guess cool moment there. And she is kind of being presented as one of the top stars of that Total Diva show. A point for the Hall of Fame pre-show panel. It's a nice touch. We talked about Brett, Foley, and Booker. It's notable for this. A point for Henry's surprise return from injury to confront Ryback. A point for the only time ever Daniel Bryan and CM Punk team up on pay-per-view in WWE. A point for Orton and Cena teasing their big champion showdown at the end of the show. And again, a point for Roman being the sole focus of the Shield kind of coming out of this. It feels like he's the guy. It's just a sole focus, but the focus as like the top guy.
Yeah, if you look back on the Shield and you kind of wonder, like, when did that transition happen from, like, Ambrose being the focus of the group to Reigns? It's here. It's here. So looking at our cons for notable moments, we've got the Shield shows more vulnerability than usual. We get Ambrose eliminated within minutes, like 2 minutes, like you said. Rollins doesn't make it all the way to the end. Again, Roman's the sole survivor. And then no title changes or true stakes. This full Big 4 show.
You can never watch a show and be perfectly fine.
Yeah, this is probably the one that almost killed the franchise.
Yeah. All right. So it looks like we did okay on moments. At least some stuff happened. You can still miss it, but like there was things, I guess. So that's a 6. Let's go to our next category, which is card structure. A point for the good start to the card with the recently returned Ray. Even with kind of the tepid reaction. It was in theory to start the card with him was a good idea. A point for the traditional Survivor Series matches in the cards, always a nice touch. A point for having the Shield outnumbered for once. That was a cool story where Reigns had to fight from behind. And then even with the silly feud, the Divas division has grown to having 14 workers. Now I know they're not all on that level. You got Cameron in there, you got Oksana, you got whatever, but you kind of have 14 workers that could fill out a match like this, which would have seemed impossible even 3 years earlier or 4 years earlier, to have that many valid female wrestlers, and obviously it'll grow from there. But it was kind of again, we're in that like real kind of herald, era coming for the women over the next year or so. So this is definitely kind of a sign that, okay, we're starting to really put some thought and energy into making this division legitimate.
And into our cons for card structure, we got starting the show with a promo. Even if it's quick, it's more, corporate talking points. Also, Triple H and Stephanie act like faces here. They encourage the cheers, but they're deplorable heels. They need to pick a lane and stay in it. Can't just come out for the crowd pop at the beginning of the night, and then be the main antagonist of the show. We got Cody and the Usos eliminated, leaving the old guys at the end instead of the up-and-coming dudes. I thought that was a curious call. While always nice to have traditional Survivor Series rules, doing it for the 14-woman match led to a flurry of those quick eliminations. Too much going on at one time. Could have done the one fall to a finish or a battle royal. We got Cena mid-show world title match in his hometown with a soft rest of the card.
You could have easily flipped those and still done the Orton Cena stare down the same. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't need to be that way. Like, I know Orton's your guy, but Cena in his hometown, like, it might have had a little more juice as the main event, and Orton's show was more glaring.
Still rocking here. We got a couple more. We got the world title in the mid card, even with Cena holding it. Could have combined the Wyatt stuff into a classic Survivor Series match with showing Orton slotting in.
Right.
Been a good way to finish. Yeah. And then show Orton week main event. Just close with Cena in Boston, and then the lame ending to the main event with show getting distracted.
Yeah, even if you don't want to braid a wrestler, you could have done 4-on-4, or you could have done 5-on-5, and maybe use Dolph. You could have done Cena. You could have done Cena, Punk, Bryan, Big Show, and Ziggler, or someone else against the 3 Wyatts, Orton, and Del Rio. Like, that's a really great main event, honestly. And you can still do the same stuff. You can still have Cena and Orton stare down. You can still have Show as part of it. I think Dolph, you could have bring him in as kind of complaining that he's been deep, whatever, right? Or there's probably someone else I'm not thinking of that they could have thrown in here too. So anyway, they had options. Final net goal, score, and this one is a -4, so pretty much washes away most of the moments. Just a poorly structured card. Rewatchability, a point for Zeb's promo about wasting time twerking and tweeting and cheering David Ortiz, which was funny. He's been pretty good. Like I said, I really liked the Real Americans during this time. I think Zeb's been funny. When they started making more of a caricature versus like some of the stuff he was saying earlier in the year, like trying to legitimately be. But now he's kind of become a caricature of like the Libertarian Party, which is pretty well done, which is a big deal at this time. It was like everyone kind of forgets before the pre-Trump era. The big thing was like the "don't tread on me" era of like that kind of right-wing politics, which was like really hot at the time. So they're really kind of on time with that one. But he's become a bit of a caricature, which is funny. And then you have Cesaro and Swagger, which are working well together as a team. Cesaro's like one of the best tag team workers ever. He makes a million teams work. And then the music is cool. Like, they actually work together as like a team. Cool. So that whole package became very entertaining. And as we see here, it's rewatchable to watch him do the giant swing to both Usos back to back. A point for Reigns is completely slicing Rey Mysterio in half with a spear. Murders him. A point for Del Rio's arm-focused strategy was really well done and kind of carried that match. And a point for the big goofball backstage segment. Johnny Ace shows up for a cameo in there as well. So people power. Johnny Ace and my Brian Pillman are the same, by the way. Stupid son of a bitch.
I'm gonna whip out my Johnson. Typical Survivor Series eliminations into the cons now, with roll-ups and other non-finishes. Mom, Dad, and Uncle Kane scolding Orton. That was a weird look. Cena win with 0 offense. Feels played out, and Del Rio worked a perfect match.
He did. Del Rio was great. Actually, we probably didn't talk about that enough. He was like really good in that match. Like, he's been great all season. He was good in this match. He dominated. He worked the arm, and then it was a classic The 20, maybe that's what I don't like about 2013 Cena has basically become like 88 Hogan. Like after Hogan, it would have fun competitive matches, and it just became get your ass kicked to the leg drop and I'm out, brother. That's kind of what Cena of 13 has become, where it's like, you know, get your shit pushed in and then hit the FU and win the match.
A lot of 0 to hero. Yeah, and one more here. Orton looking weak. Gets saved by the Authority yet again.
Yeah, terrible. All right, rewatchability score 1. I don't believe we had any all-time matches either way.
Nope.
0. So you can look at the numbers in front of you. It's not going to be pretty. Our final score for this show is a 4.5, which puts it 123rd all-time on our list, Marcus, and that is out of 137 shows. So for us right now that we've watched, there's only been 14 shows worse. It finishes right behind the 2012 Rumble and tied with the UK No Mercy 99. I'm sorry, slightly above that, so not tied, but almost tied. And that's from May of 99, where they, you know, if you're tying a UK pay-per-view, it's probably not the best news for you. It's going to be one of the worst Survivor Series of all time, if not the worst. We'll see as we go. I don't know if we have any right now that are worse, but it doesn't look like it. No, for us, I'm sorry, 90. We actually, all right, we got to read. We know we have to redo 94, 95 at some point. Survivor Series 94 is just below this. But you cannot tell me in any way that show's worse than this one. I will not believe it.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah.
We were still figuring out our system back in 94, 95. So
Definitely.
All right. Fart Bomb City. We'll be back in 2 weeks with TLC 2013, but let's get to our top 10 first here, Marcus. Our 10th show of all time, SummerSlam 1992 with 38.25.
Number 9, SummerSlam 2001 with a 39.
SummerSlam 2015 checks in on 8th place at 39.25.
And number 7, WrestleMania 7 with a 39.5.
Number 6, Vengeance 2005 at 41.
Top 5, SummerSlam 1990 with a 42.
Number 4, Royal Rumble 2002 at 44.
Number 3, the SummerSlam 2005 with a 46.5.
WrestleMania 22 checks in second at 56.5.
And our number 1 show, The Outlier, ECW One Night Stand 2005 with a plus 79.
We have that show 75 points better than the one we talked about tonight. But even WrestleMania 22, 52 points better. Like they don't even feel like they're in the same world or universe, those shows.
No.
So this is a bad one. Hopefully it's the worst of the remainder of the season. We'll see. There's some interesting shit still to come in this season as we wind down. Like I said, in 2 weeks, we'll have TLC 2013. And then a month from today, Marcus, will be in Pittsburgh for the 2014 Rumble, which is its own can of worms that we'll be getting into that night as well. So I want to thank everyone for joining us. It was a lot of fun, as always, to be with you, buddy. And we'll continue on this journey and finish this season soon enough. Before we know, we'll be on to the next one. Continue to live your life above replacement level. And we'll talk to you in 2 weeks.